Futures trading involves risk and is not suitable for all investors. Content provided in this segment is meant for educational purposes and is not a solicitation to buy or sell commodities.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Tech Talk. I am Cody. He is Andy. And with Paige Driscoll in the background, we make up the Tech Talk trio. Andy, how you doing?
If I was any better, I'd be you. Somebody reached out and was making fun of me because I was doing this with my pen, by the way, so I'm going to do it again.
We get a lot of interesting comments on ourselves sometimes.
That means they're watching.
That's right. They're watching. Speaking of watching, we got 3 requests today. One of them came from overseas.
Going global.
When we got that email, I was pretty pumped.
July whole milk powder. It's on the NZX.
Yes.
Super interesting chart. The interesting thing about it is that it's already, it completed this right here, right? And you had a couple different, like this 36 and a quarter price is clearly a big price for this. I know it's a little bit far away now, but it's clearly a big price. So breaking through, if we broke through that price, it could be like look out below. This doesn't look good. I mean, I'm just going to say it, it just doesn't, at first glance, it doesn't look very good. And what I think could be unfinished business here is this guy right there.
Is that 38.30?
Yeah, 30. Yeah, sure. 38.5, 38.30. It really started at 38.43 if we want to be super precise. But yeah, it looks weak. It filled this gap obviously here, failed to put in a new high right here, came back down, and now is kind of like, I mean, there's the other piece of it too. It's right up against that former high. So if you broke down from there, and it looks like we are, this gap next in line. I don't know. What do you think?
That I would agree. Seems to be the next magnet. After we settled, it looks like we did settle right under 4,000 today too.
Just a hair below 4,000, which is, I mean, obviously, again, pretty key number. It's where this market accelerated from too, right? I mean, this thing got moving in a hurry. What is this high? 42.60 once it got through 4,000, and it did it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, basically. So yeah, but since then, higher or lower high, got through 4,000. This gap looks like it's the next kind of target. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot technically that would suggest it's going to just rip back. So, I mean, you could certainly get something that comes up, some sort of fundamental thing that's not priced in right now.
Probably to be GDT next Tuesday, I'd imagine.
Could be. I mean, sure could be. There's the ever-changing trade wars that we continue to have. You never know what happens with that. But yeah, no, this again, all else equal, this looks weak. This looks like it wants to go fill this gap. Yeah. And then the next stop would be, gosh, if you got through these two guys right here, this 36 and a quarter, yikes. Momentum, cross zero, not good. Well, I guess it depends on how you look at it. I mean, we talked about it the other day. Like there's always, you see on this, like on the news, when the stock market is down like 500 points or whatever it is, there's always the guy that's like, but where's the guy who's short? And he's just like, where is that guy or gal?
They never show the short positions. It's usually the bullish position.
Anyways, thank you for the international viewership and the request. Please keep them coming.
Absolutely.
Next one. This one comes from our very good friend, Mr. J Barf. He asked for the pork cutout, but
I don't think there's a pork cutout.
We're looking at hogs.
I was looking today.
Yeah, we're looking at hogs. Right. So August hogs,
okay.
August piggies. What do you think here, boss?
August piggies. Ooh. Woohoo.
August pigs.
Definitely. I mean, if you take out the RSI and the momentum, doesn't look bearish right on the chart there.
Well, why would you say the momentum is bearish?
I'm just peeking at the momentum. Did it cross? Let me blow mine up here real quick. Just seems like every time we kind of get up here, we start to roll ourselves over on the momentum chart and then make a little bit more of a dive. I wonder, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did we just complete the 5th wave of the Elliott wave theory?
Perhaps.
I don't have it drawn out on here, but the way that the momentum is kind of teetering over, and then the RSI is above overbought territory.
Oh, I agree with the RSI, obviously. But remember, RSI can be overbought or oversold for an extended period of time.
That's correct.
Yep, the momentum piece, I agree. It is trending up, but it's also, it's struggling up against, I drew this right here, right? It's struggling against its former high, which came also at a time when the market, that's when it had that retracement right here. So this is a tough one because, anytime you've tried to sell it, you've just gotten punched right in the nose. So
you've been wrong.
Yes. So I don't, to me, there's nothing really technically that's suggesting this market. This is a weekly. of Hogs. Nothing is suggesting that this market is getting ready to roll over.
The candle from today, I mean, I guess you engulfed yesterday's move, but we didn't settle there. So we went down. Did we get to yesterday's low? Let's see here. Low 109. Not quite. Almost. You're within a quarter of a cent there, but you also retraced it.
Just a fraction. Yeah. I agree, man. I mean, like, you think about too, like, look at this candle. This is just a monster one, right? And if this monster of a candle is coming after all this. And so the fact that the market is struggling to get back in within this range, to settle within the range of this candle, I think is really telling. I think you have to be really careful of trying to pick a top here.
Right.
And, you've got this long-term trend that, again, it depends on where you want to start it, right? If you want to be a little bit more conservative, you could have it there. If you believe more that you should be using the closes, you could draw it there, right? Let's use this one. This has to break before I think you can call it a sale. So the fact that we can't get back within the range of that candle right there, I mean, this probably looked like a sale to people too. Or like I shouldn't say a sale. It's probably looked to folks as saying like, man, this is just getting to be too much. It's getting, we're moving too much, blah, blah, blah. Nope. So this, I think you have to cross this low. This one. It's such a strong candle.
This reminds me a lot of cattle. They look very similar to each other, right?
All the meats are going crazy.
It's one that we talked about. When you try to get short, you're wrong. You're wrong.
Yeah. I think you have to break a major trend here. You've made a good point though. The RSI is telling you want to be a little bit concerned if you're long. Money flow continues to be strong, and the momentum is dancing up against previous highs. So it has yet to make any sort of confirmation. So if you're selling it here, you're taking a pretty good risk that, like this candle is going to get, I guess, come back in and you're going to break this trend. I think you're better off violating this, like getting it close to the trend, opening lower, and then taking a shot at getting short, if that's what you're looking to do. And if you did do that, this could be, you've got quite a bit of room to break. Look at that.
Yep.
That's 50%, 98 and change.
Right.
I mean, that's the kind of move you'd be looking for. So I think you can comfortably say, like, let's get more of a confirmation, because this is bucking the trend on this one. So you already said it with the other meats, man. Bucking the trend has not been good. You've gotten punched in the nose countless times.
Yeah.
The trend is your friend.
Yes. The trend on these is your friend.
Thank you, Jay Barf, as always.
Appreciate it.
Last one, but certainly not least, it came to us from our good friend, the one and only Iowa Dan.
Iowa Dan.
I was talking to Iowa Dan today. I mentioned that you like to drive over tumbleweeds. You called me, you do it like you're driving somewhere. You just flew over a tumbleweed, and it was magnanimous.
We don't have them in the Midwest. You go down the South, they've got them everywhere. I'd never done it before. When you hit it, I thought it'd make like a little bit of a crunch, but it kind of explodes and just makes like a dusty mess all over the vehicle, which I found very interesting. But it is a dusty weed, so
it's tumbling.
All
right, back to business. We're looking at the US dollar index. This is super interesting because it's, we talked about just now with Hogs. If you're looking to get short, waiting for the trend to break. And it really depends on where you want to draw this trend here for the US dollar, because it's had such a substantial break. But it's starting to show signs of life from the long side, I think. Your favorite, what is it?
We got a see a gap there. Oh, we got a W.
It's
sure yep, I see it now.
It sure is.
Okay, I was just going to bring that part up. If you wanted to get long here, I think you could probably get long, and you're probably going to want to exit that position if we get down to 97.5. If we hit that bottom from April, you probably want to get out. Right?
I totally agree. I 100% agree. If you're looking for a spot to get long, I'd say this is as good as any. The weekly isn't great. The daily, though, to me is just like I said, to your point, this is 98.5. You're risking down to 97 change. Whereas even if you've got a 2-to-1 shot just to go back and test this area right here. Let's go look at this. This is a chart of the 102 call.
Okay.
I personally think charting options is something to be really mindful of, and I think it's worth looking at. You don't get nearly as much price action here. Let's take a look at another one just for kicks. This is probably a little bit more of a traded strike, but you're getting down to a price point where The futures still haven't put in like a new low relative to that previous low that we just looked at, but the options are. So I look at it and say, if you start to climb out here, like this could be like an interesting buy. And you talk about like risk reward, it would be even less from like a risk standpoint, right? So something to think about.
Makes sense.
I think options chart really well up until you get to like a 50 delta, I think. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, this one looks like it could pop a little risky. What would that mean for the dairy space if we went back to like 102, 104?
Well, probably not as good as exports. I mean, depending on where the butter, cheese, whey, all those numbers are. But as Rice had always taught us, the lower the dollar and the higher their currency, the better chance we as America have for exports. But looking back, I mean, 98, I'm looking at it on a weekly right now, and it's kind of forming a little bit of a W, but we're bouncing on this 98 number. I mean, shoot, that's lows going back into 2022, right?
Hang on. Monthly. Oof.
I mean, it's just
look at that monthly.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. I mean, 100 basis points, huge number for this chart. Huge number.
It really is.
To me, to your point, going back to the daily, you said it already. The risk reward here from like the long side I think it's good. Like the risk reward is, you're talking about 2-to-1, 3-to-1 kind of shots. If you broke through this downtrend, it could really go. At the very least, you just go back to the monthly real fast. You're talking about just going like this thing has just been in this channel since, to your point, Q1 of 2022.
Exactly.
Just going back and testing the upper end of this range of that channel takes you to 105.
Right.
And that's, if we really want to take the upper end of that, set it right there. It's not even, you're talking about retracing 2/3 of this move. It's done that several times over the last 3 years.
Correct.
Makes a nice little spot by you, dude. Are you going to buy a couple 2-tree?
After talking about this, I think you have to. I mean, like you said, the risk reward is leaning heavier towards the reward, and you know where to get out. If we drop below 97.5 and settle there, it's just time to exit the position.
Poof. Maybe look at buying some of those calls that we just looked at, SEP 100s.
I think we're going to have to. I know we used to look at a lot more of those, and we might have to start looking at those a little bit more in depth. I think that's a great way to look at things that are truly happening besides just the price action on the chart, like the intricate workings of the price.
Correct.
I like that.
I think you've got yourself a little trade idea.
I like it.
We'll see how it goes.
We'll check back next week and see how it is.
I'm going to write it down. I've got my little post-it of all this stuff. So I'm going to write down Cody EDX trade.
Buy at 98.5.
610.
All right. Well, we'll check in next week on the dollar and see if we were correct or what happened with it. Big shout out to our 3 watching friends that emailed in and wanted to look at these different charts. We greatly appreciate it. Our first, if I'm not mistaken, our very first international ask, which is very cool, actually.
Yes.
We're hoping to see some more of those down the road.
I'm just excited to see you like travel the globe doing tech talk.
I love it. Well, we appreciate it, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. If you have not already, please like, subscribe, give us a thumbs up on the channel. Keep tuning in. Tell all your friends and family. Make sure they tune in. Trying to get more subscribers, trying to reach a broader audience. But until next week, you guys have a great rest of this week, an even better weekend. We'll see you next time.
See ya.